The dumbest reasons people got in trouble at school. At this kid's middle school, there was a rule that nobody was allowed to chew gum ever. Well, one day, this kid was chewing gum. His teacher saw this and said, "Kyle, spit it out. You know the rule. Thank you. See me after class." After class? You wanted to see me? You need to write me a 2,000-word paper on the history of pizza. That's your punishment. Give it to me on Monday. He spent the entire weekend writing this paper. When he got back to school on Monday, that teacher was out sick, so there was a substitute. Tuesday, the same thing. On Wednesday, when that teacher finally returned, "Here's the paper you wanted me to write." "Kyle, what paper?" "The paper." "What paper, Kyle?" "The pizza paper." "The pizza paper?" "The pizza paper!" "Oh, throw that in the garbage. I don't really want to read it." The dumbest school rules ever. This one high school had the dumbest school rule ever where students had to ask before taking a sip of anything. At lunchtime, kids were fine, but if you were in class and you wanted to have a sip of water, you had to ask the teacher, "May I have a sip of my water, please?" "Okay, thank you." Well, one kid that attended this high school told this story. It was getting close to summer, and he was sitting in class. The AC wasn't working very well at all, and he was thirsty. "Steven, did you ask me?" "Huh? Oh my god, no, I forgot, but I'm so sorry. It's just so hot in here, miss, and I'm like dehydrated." "I don't care, you didn't ask me." "I know, I'm sorry. Give me your water bottle and head to the principal's office right now." "Okay, here." What the frick? He went to the principal's office and the principal gave him a detention. Some parents heard about the situation and they got super mad. The school changed the rule shortly after. This has to be the worst date of all time. When this girl was in college, she had went on a couple dates with this guy she met in one of her classes. Well, one day they made a plan to hang out at his apartment. It was pretty low-key. He was playing League of Legends and she was doing homework in his room. Come on! Crap. You must really like that game, huh? You've been on it for hours. Yeah, it's actually my favorite game of all time. So, at that point, she was a little annoyed, but nothing would be as bad as what was about to happen. She suddenly heard some gross, suspicious noises. And then there was the smell, and that's when she knew what was happening. "Did you just shit your pants?" "Who, me?" "No, Abraham Lincoln." "Yes, you. Did you poop your pants?" Yeah, I did." "Why?" Because I'm playing a game. I don't want to get up. I do this all the time, okay?" "Yeah, okay. This is over." "Oh, come on. I do it all the time. It's not a big deal." Whatever. And she never saw him ever again. That's nasty. The person that shared this story said that one day they were sitting in math class, and one kid got up to use the pencil sharpener. Up to this point, this kid was pretty normal. He had a good amount of friends and he never did anything too crazy, but after he finished sharpening his pencil, he snuck up behind the teacher, who was very focused writing stuff down, so he didn't even notice. He then took out a lighter and lit the teacher's hair on fire. After the teacher patted the fire out of his hair, he looked at the student and asked, "Why did you do this?" "It wasn't me. A spark flew out of the light switch and lit your hair on fire." That's not true, mister. We all saw him light your hair on fire. It wasn't the light switch at all." Obviously, that kid was then expelled. Later, when he was asked why he did it, he replied, "I've always wanted to see a human burn." That kid is now grown up, and he's in prison for life for a different crime. This kid had the best comeback ever. He was in the 4th grade, and he was a very shy kid. Well, one day in class, one of the popular girls was making fun of him. Look at Billy. "Hey, Billy, why are you so weird?" "What, you have nothing to say to me?" Such a weird guy. Well, the teacher noticed this and chimed in. "Hey, Stacy, be nice to him. He's actually very smart. He could be your boss one day." And without missing a beat, the kid replies, "No thanks. I don't want to be a pimp when I grow up."
You smell like my mom.
"Hey, Kyle, I heard you tell Stacy you think you're smarter than me." "Okay, Chad, that's because I am." "Yeah, right, dude. What makes you think that, idiot?" Probably the fact that you failed every single one of your classes last year." "That's it, loser. I've had enough of your crap. You want to fight me?" "You know what? I think I do." "You're not going to do anything. You're a loser." "Oh, Chad, you are wrong." "Yeah, then? What are you going to do? Huh? What are you going to do?" "I'm going to slap you so hard it'll power a small village." "Yeah, right." Granny, do you think the lights will ever turn back on? Hopefully one day, sweetheart, but this town is so poor, we have to use candles for now. The lights! Thank you. Whoever did this, you made our lives so much better. This kid had a horrible lunchroom experience. He was in first grade and it was lunchtime. The school was serving popcorn chicken that day, but this school was kind of weird. They didn't have ketchup packets for students to take. Instead, the vice principal would pass ketchup bottles down the tables. Kids would take how much they needed and keep it going. Well, when the bottle got to this kid, he accidentally poured a lot of ketchup on his plate. The vice principal saw this. You. Yeah, that's a lot of ketchup. It was an accident. You're gonna finish it, right? Yeah, of course I'm gonna eat all my chicken. You're gonna finish that ketchup, right? What? You're gonna eat all of that ketchup, and if you don't, you're going to the principal's office. When the popcorn chicken was gone, there was still a crap ton of ketchup on his plate. So, he had to eat it with a spoon. Keep going. Keep going. That night when he got home, he told his mom what happened. The mom called the school, and the vice principal that made him eat that ketchup was fired. My name is Mike, and today's my first day at a new school. Oh, I forgot to mention I'm a bully, and I plan to be the biggest bully here. Are you a bully? Yeah, are you? Yeah, today's my first day. I'm Mike. Hey, I'm Chad. Nice to meet you, man. So, who's easy pickings around here? I love to bully that guy. How about that dude? That's Kyle. I wouldn't bully him if I were you. It's not worth it. Yeah, right, it's always worth it. I'm gonna bully him right now. Hey, loser. Who are you? I'm Mike. I'm the new bully here, and I'm gonna make your life a living hell. Oh, really? Just like how you make your parents' life a living hell? Oh, I'm sorry, should I say parent? I'm sure your mom doesn't even know who your dad is. Wait, what? You donkey-looking, big-head, hat-wearing fool. I bet you eat cereal with water because your dad never came home with the milk. You suck, man. Well, you suck more, for less. I told you, bro. I miss my old school. Here are some crazy things that happened at fast food restaurants. Up first, when this dude was in high school, he worked at a McDonald's inside of a Walmart. Well, there was one Walmart employee that would come in every day to order 2 fish fillet sandwiches with extra tartar sauce. Bruh. Well, on this particular day, the Walmart employee comes in and orders, hey man, yeah, the usual. Hey, you got it, bro. When he got his 2 fish fillets with the extra sauce, he took a bite and decided that there was too much sauce, man. He then threw both of the sandwiches at this kid's face. What the heck, man? The Walmart employee then left and this kid tried to forget about it. Well, a couple of hours later, the Walmart employee was being walked back into the McDonald's by his manager. He has something he wants to say. You have something you want to say, don't you? I'm sorry. Excuse me? I'm sorry for throwing the sandwiches at you. Thank you. We're so sorry, it won't happen again. Okay, yeah, no problem. The Walmart then banned him from ever going into that McDonald's ever again. Up next, this person worked at a popular burger chain. You know how the burger patties sometimes look like this? They're all frozen together with sheets in between them? Well, one day this guy walks in and he sees his coworkers separating these burger patties, but not in a way you would think, or in a way that's very sanitary. They were just bashing them on the grimy floor until they all fell apart. They would then pick them off the floor and put them right on the grill. Bruh. That's disgusting. This girl was being trained to work at a breakfast spot. On this day, she was being trained on how to put the waffle batter inside the waffle maker. As she was watching her manager demonstrate, she saw her manager's Band-Aid fall off right into the waffle batter. Yeah, it's just, you know, you kind of like, your Band-Aid's in the batter. Oops. You pour it right in. She just took her Band-Aid out and still used the batter to make waffles. Again, that's nasty. This one's crazy. This guy was a shift manager at an ice cream spot. One day, he walked into the freezer and he saw 2 of his employees peeing inside the ice cream mix. He was livid. He kicked them out of the ice cream shop and he had to disinfect the entire freezer. When the general manager finally showed up at the store, he thought she would be proud of him, or just as angry as he was. Instead, she said, "You've got to be kidding me. Why would you kick them out? We're short-staffed today. And why would you throw away that perfectly good ice cream mix? Ma'am, they peed in it. The customers don't know that, do they?" Later that day, he quit. Absolutely nuts. This teacher is the worst. When he was 9 years old, he had a teacher that hated him. He was kind of a chubby kid, and one time he didn't do his homework and she flipped out. This is your workbook. You're supposed to do homework in your workbook. I don't see your homework. She was flipping through it so hard she ripped a bunch of pages. But she wasn't done. She then, in front of the entire class, started screaming at him even more. You know what, Kyle? You're probably too busy stuffing your face with sandwiches and Twinkies that you didn't have time to do your homework. You're so fat. She then made him go to the back corner of the classroom and stand there with his hands straight up in the air until class was over. Hands up, Kyle. He went home and told his parents what happened. The next day, they came into school with him. They went to her room and asked why she did that. To which she replied, "I'm sorry, I don't recall that happening. I think your kid might be making it up. I'm sorry." When this kid was in 4th grade, his glasses broke. Aw, man. But it didn't really matter because in most of his classes he sat in the front row, so he could still see. Well, after a few days of going to class without his glasses, one of his teachers said, "Kyle, I see you still don't have your glasses. Are they still broken?" "Yeah, but it's fine. I can still see the board." The thing with this teacher though was that she would always write assignments on the board for students to work on during class. She would never explain the assignments. Students would just read the board and then do their work. But anyway, she said, "Kyle, it's been 4 days now. Your parents should have gotten you new glasses at this point. You're sitting in the back of the class." Okay. Alright, so this is what needs to be done before the end of class, okay? Get to work. Oh, I can't see it. What the heck? Sit down, Kyle. Hey, Stacy, can you tell me what the board says? Yeah, it says, Stacy, don't you dare tell him what it says. I'm teaching him a frickin' lesson. I hate my life. Dumbest rules parents made their kids follow. When this person was growing up, his parents wouldn't allow him to use public restrooms at all. Even on trips to Disney World. If he had to go to the bathroom, they had to go all the way back to the hotel, which is bogus. When he was in elementary and middle school, at the start of every year, his parents would call the teachers and told them to let them know if their son ever used the public bathroom. If he was caught using the public bathroom at school, his parents would punish him when he got home. Growing up, there was no place he could safely use the bathroom other than his home without getting in trouble. When he got to high school, the parents tried the same thing. They called the teachers and said, "Let us know if he ever uses the public restroom." The teachers in high school thought that was weird, and they never followed through. So he got away with using the bathrooms in high school. But it wasn't until college, where this kid was finally allowed to use any public bathroom he wanted without fear of being punished by his crazy parents. When this girl was in elementary school, she got in trouble for using a big word. Something upset her in class, and she used the word vexed, which means annoyed, frustrated, worried. Well, the teacher overheard and yelled at her. The teacher said that she should have just used the word angry. Well, her teacher then sent a note to her mom, explaining the situation. Her mom marked the teacher's note for errors in red pen and sent it back to her with a note that read, "When you can use proper English, you can correct hers." Legendary mom. The worst Christmas gifts ever. When this girl was 15 years old, she really wanted a dog. And her parents knew it because she was always asking them if they could get one. Well, one Christmas morning, after most of the presents were unwrapped, her parents went downstairs to grab one last gift for her. Oh my gosh, I wonder what this is. Her parents then came upstairs carrying a giant box with holes in it, almost as if there was a living creature inside. Okay, are you ready? Oh my god, I think I know what this is. Convinced there was a live puppy inside this Swiss cheese looking box, she unwrapped it, super excited to meet her new pet. But as she opened the box, she saw a stuffed animal dog that when you squeezed its paw, it barked. What is this? You said you wanted a dog. Why would you put holes in the box? I hate you. When this kid was in 6th grade, he asked his teachers if he could get paid to clean up gum from under desks and chairs. They said sure. So he was getting paid $5 every time he cleaned up gum. Well, the principal found out about this and asked him if he could clean up the gum from under the tables in the lunchroom. He said sure. It was a nice little side hustle, but then he had a brilliant idea. He was gonna start selling gum. So he started buying these packs. This one's only $5 from Target. It's 8 packs with 15 pieces of gum in each pack. That's 120 pieces pieces of gum, and he sold each piece of gum for 50 cents. He was making $60 after selling one whole thing of gum. But here's the kicker. Every time he sold somebody a piece of gum, he asked them when they were done with the gum if they could put it underneath desks or the lunchroom tables. So he would have to clean up the gum more often and make even more money. His teacher said he has a thing he does whenever he loses control of his class. He grabs a stapler and says, "Anyone want to put a staple in my hand? The physical pain would be nothing compared to how I feel right now, when all I want to do is help you guys reach your full potential, but you don't care." Somebody then usually doubts his seriousness and says, "Yeah, I'll put a staple in your hand." That's when he walks up to their desk, puts the stapler down, and puts his hand down and says, "Do it." The students usually give a nervous giggle and they pretend to do it, but they never do. Well, one day he did this little stunt again, and a student was like, "Yes, mister, I'll put a staple in your hand." He brings a stapler over, puts his hand down, and the student actually staples his hand. He didn't freak out or anything. He calmly looked at his hand, asked, "Did that really happen?" Pulled the staple out while blood trickled down, and he said, "Are we done? Can I go back to teaching now?" All the students were completely shocked. The kid that did it felt so bad that he stapled his own hand at the end of class. People who were legends in their high school. There was this one teacher at this one high school that never let anybody use the bathroom, no matter how many times they asked. There was this one girl in class who hated this teacher, and the teacher hated her. Every day, she would always ask if she could use the bathroom, and the teacher said no. Well, on the last day of school, this girl was in this teacher's class. She asked the teacher twice if she could use the bathroom, and the teacher said no. This is what happened when she asked for the third time. "Miss, can I please use the bathroom? I really have to go. I swear to God, if you ask me one more time, no, you may not." "Okay, fine, but just remember, you did this." The girl then stood up, stared at the teacher, and peed her pants. She got in big trouble, but she went home and told her parents about this, and her father was a urologist. Her father called the school, and this teacher got into huge trouble. The dumbest rules parents had their kids follow. When this girl was in high school, her parents had this very strict rule. "All right, love you guys, I'm going to my friend's house." "Okay, don't forget the rules." "I won't." The rule was this: she had a curfew every night, and for every minute she was late after curfew, she would be grounded for a week. So if she was 2 minutes late coming home, she'd be grounded for 2 weeks. Well, one day she was stuck behind a train. Come on, come on, come on. It was one of those long trains. You know what I'm talking about. Well, it was passing for 10 minutes, causing her to be 10 minutes late, Marissa. Do you know what that means? You were 10 minutes. Honey, please, I got this. No. 10 minutes late is what? 10 weeks. Excuse me? 10 weeks. 10 weeks, very good. You're grounded for 10 weeks, now get to your room. Oh, God, I hate them so much. Stupid rule. What the heck? What's a pineapple doing in here? When this kid was in middle school, he bought a shoe customization kit, and he was skilled enough to design stuff like this on people's shoes. Well, he decided to start a business. He charged kids $10 for him to customize their shoes. But more and more people started getting interested in this, and business started booming. So he raised his price to $50 per customization. Things were going great. He was running this business for 3 months, until one day the vice principal walked in on him in the bathroom designing some shoes. The vice principal saw him and told him that he had to ask the principal if he could continue. Well, the principal said, "Yeah, for sure, keep going." And he did. He continued this business for 7 months. But then one day, a school board official was visiting the school, and the school board official caught him in the bathroom as well. He was then shut down completely. In total, he made about $11,000. That's insane. The worst things teachers have done. One day in elementary school, this girl was sitting in her class. She had asthma, and her asthma was acting up, so she was using her inhaler. Okay. Anyway, 2 plus 2 is... 2 plus 2 is 4, that's right, yeah. So, and 3 plus 3 is... Jessica, please. Are you kidding me? Apparently, the teacher couldn't teach because this girl using her inhaler was too distracting. So this is what she did. "Give me that. I'm gonna put this in the office. Whenever you want to use it, you have to go to the office to use it, okay?" Well, the next day, in that same class, that same girl was having trouble with her asthma again. So she asked, "Miss, can I go to the office? I need to use my inhaler really bad." "Not right now, Jessica. We're in the middle of a very important lesson, okay?" She had a full-blown asthma attack. To the point where the paramedics were called, and she had to be taken to the hospital. That teacher was fired the next day. This school is doing too much. The person that shared this story went to a Catholic middle school with a dress code and everything. A part of that dress code was that students had to wear a tie every single day. "Good morning, everyone. Get to class. Come on, come on. Kevin, where's your tie?" And if somebody wasn't wearing a tie, they would get a "Detention, Kevin. You have a detention. Well, the school took this rule a little too far. There were a lot of kids that would walk home from school every day, and they wanted to extend this rule. They said,
if you're a student that walks home, your tie must remain on until you get to your house.
Which is weird, but okay, no one's watching. Wrong. The principal hired people to stand on the main road, checking to make sure these kids who walked home had their ties still on. And if they didn't have their tie on when they were walking home, they would get a detention. That is the craziest thing I have ever heard. Secrets people are taking to the grave. When this person was 14 years old, his great uncle Jack was staying at his family's house. Well, one day, the only people in the house was this kid and his uncle. Well, apparently Uncle Jack had a bit too much to drink, and he fell down the stairs. He was bleeding out. Well, this kid heard the noise and checked to see what happened. That's when he saw his uncle laying on the ground, bleeding. He wanted to call the ambulance right then and there, but he passed out at the sight of blood. He woke up 30 minutes later and immediately called an ambulance. However, it was too late. Uncle Jack had already passed away. Rest in peace, Jack. Weird things that happened at a friend's house. When this kid was 9 years old, he was hanging out at his friend's house when he had to go to the bathroom. Number 2. Couple minutes later, his friend's dad went in the bathroom. He then came out and said this, "Alrighty, we have a problem. Kyle, did you take a poop in my bathroom?" Yeah, I did. Now, why in God's name would you do that? Because I had. Do you know how disrespectful that is? In my toilet. If you had to take it, you should have gone to your own house. But sir, I had to go to the bathroom. I don't care. I'm calling your mom right now and I'm telling her you are never allowed here ever again. Hi, Mrs. Stevens. This is Mr. Johnson. Your son is disgusting and I hate him.
What? I am so confused.
She's not breathing. I'm calling 911. This happened junior year. Middle of class, the teacher collapses. Hits the ground hard. It wasn't a fall. It was a full-blown cardiac arrest. One student jumps up, grabs their phone and dials 911. Yes, my teacher collapsed. I don't think he's breathing. Can they guide him while he gives chest compressions? Stay with me, teach. Stay with me, teach. Ambulance comes, they take the teacher's life is saved, and guess what the school does? They suspend that student. You're suspended. You broke the rules. School staff is supposed to approve all emergency calls. Are you kidding me? That was the actual policy. If something happened, you were supposed to go find a school admin, report the crisis, wait for a call to be authorized, and then somebody can call 911. Like, it doesn't make any sense. This kid's teacher was literally dying on the floor, and he got in trouble for calling 911 to save his life. And get this, later that same year, another kid has a seizure, cracks their head on the floor, the whole class is screaming, and it takes the school 30 minutes to approve the call. Sounds like they didn't really care about emergencies. They cared about control, and that is so messed up. Her teacher took her inhaler. This girl had asthma. She kept her inhaler in her hoodie pocket always. Well, one day a teacher sees her pull it out and goes, "Put that away, no distractions." "But it's my inhaler." "Then use it before or after class." "Give me it." Takes the inhaler. She sits there, silent. 2 minutes later, she starts wheezing. It gets worse. She's having trouble breathing now. Yo, she can't breathe. Very funny. Cut it out. She thinks she's faking it. Now the girl's on the floor, she's shaking and she can't breathe at all. Teacher still thinks she's faking it. Somebody runs to the hallway and grabs another teacher. Teacher comes in, takes one look and yells, "Where's her inhaler?" Kid points to the desk. "But she's faking it, right?" "Give me that. Here." She uses it. Finally, some relief. The principal gets called. That first teacher was essentially suspended for a week. She had mandatory training, and she never lived it down. To the point where she didn't come back to teach the next year. Yeah, who in the world would do this? If your phone goes off in class, you might get arrested. This school had a strict no phone policy. You couldn't even have your phone on you. Not in your pocket, not in your bag, nothing. But the real rule, if a phone rang, audibly buzzed, or dinged during class, the entire room had to stand up, hands on their head, and wait. So, you see, 50 years ago, they invented broccoli, and all right, stand up. They would then send in a school officer to search every single student. Pocket checks, bag checks, didn't matter. Everybody was getting searched. And if you didn't comply, or if they found your phone, incarceration may result. That's what the handbook said, meaning you might get arrested, which doesn't make sense. And I want to remind you guys, this is a real story. So one day in third period, somebody's phone rings loudly. Everybody up, hands in your heads. The officer comes in. Well, one kid isn't standing up. Stand up. Eat my shorts, idiot. Excuse me? I said eat my shorts, big man. That's it. Get up. And they arrested the kid. Yes, I know he was talking back to him, but still, I don't know where this school got off or what kind of law they were writing on, but this entire thing just doesn't seem okay. You are stealing from the school. I'm charging my phone. Exactly. This kid plugs his phone into the wall outlet during class. There wasn't a distraction, his phone just had low battery, and they were doing a free work period, so what's the big deal? Well, the teacher sees this and loses it. Unplug that now, you are stealing school electricity. It's a phone charger. Unplug it or you're suspended and will bill you for the power you used. He thinks there's no way that the school would go that far, so he doesn't unplug his phone. But the school, oh, they wanted to punish him. They were ready. He gets called to the office the next day. Official suspension. And he got a notice to appear before a disciplinary committee. What? All this for using the wall outlet in class. So he shows up. Calm, silent. Well, young man, theft is theft, no matter how small. Cool. Here's 10 cents. Keep the change. Excuse me, you're not done here. Oh, yes, I am. Bye. And he walks out. He didn't do that as an actual payment. He did it as a statement, because the electricity he used probably cost the school less than a penny, and he gave them 10 times that, just to show how ridiculous this all was. And just to punish him and make an example out of him, the school district spent hundreds of dollars filling out forms, calling this meeting, filing reports just to punish him. So they're the real losers in this fight. And this kid just walked out, no care in the world. What an absolute legend. Have your parents ever embarrassed you? Listen to this story. So this family's at the mall. A mom and her 2 kids. They grab 3 lemonades from a pretzel stand, take them to the food court, order some pizza. Normal day at the mall. Sounds lovely to me. Well, the lemonade tastes off. Not like poison, just like a weird lemonade. But the kids? Yeah, they're thirsty. So they drink all of it anyway, but the mom, she doesn't. She takes 1 sip and she's done. This lemonade's disgusting. Why would they serve this? She's just complaining about it the entire time they're eating. So after their meal, she drags both of her kids back to that pretzel stand. Yeah, hi, I want a refund for all 3 of these lemonades. They were absolutely horrible. The cashier goes, hey, listen, I totally get it. Since you didn't drink yours, I'll refund that one, but your kids drank theirs, so I can't refund theirs. I mean, seems reasonable, right? Nope, the mom snaps. Full-blown meltdown. You think this is fair? Huh? I want my money back for all 3 lemonades. I can't, lady. I can give you some coupons, but that's it. Doesn't help at all. The mom is still going off, and the kids are begging her to stop. Mom, please stop it. It's so embarrassing. Let's go. Let's go, Mom, please. The mom eventually storms off, and they all get in the car. And the whole ride home, the mom's like, you guys made me look stupid. Why did you drink your lemonade? Now they think I'm some sort of joke. I mean, yeah, they probably do. Because you were acting like a fool in the middle of the mall. That's crazy. The worst part of a sleepover was the morning. You're tired, the air smells weird, your friend is always sleeping longer than you are, so you have to deal with their parents. I hated that. Well, this one kid shared a story about a sleepover he went to when he was a kid. They wake up. His friend asks, so you want to stay for breakfast? Sure. Honestly, he should have left right then and there. That was a trap. He could have dipped, but instead, he's eating boiled spinach, microwaved eggs, and a glass of milk. The worst combo of all time. Why was this kid's parents making that for breakfast? I don't know. You like it, sweetie? Yeah, yummy. You barely touched your spinach. I'm savoring it. Meanwhile, his friend's little brother, who's staring at him, says, you eat weird. What? He survives breakfast. Barely. He sticks around for a little bit and then he wants to go home, but by this time it's 3 p.m. They ask him if he wants to play a board game. Guess he doesn't want to make his friend feel bad, so he says yes. But the game was Monopoly, the longest game ever. Who's playing Monopoly? And he's starting to get real antsy. He's got to go. He's texting his mom, please come pick me up. It's an emergency. 6 p.m. Ding, his mom texts him. Here. He grabs his backpack. All right, guys, thanks for having me. My mom's out front. And his friend starts shaking. Wait. You're leaving? Yeah, man, it's Sunday night. But I thought we'd hang out all week. Bro, we got school tomorrow. And then his friend starts crying. But you're my best friend. You're my best friend. I know, man. I know. All right, see you guys. He gets into the car and says to himself, never again. This has to be the weirdest sleepover ever. Everything was chill until about 6 p.m. Sleepover's been going smooth, pizza, Mario Kart, chillin'. Then suddenly his friend goes, oh, my stomach hurts. At first, he just shrugs it off. By 7 p.m., it got worse. It's on the floor, groaning. His mom's panicking. Honey, are you okay? It hurts so bad. We're going to the ER right now. That's when he says, wait, what about me? You stay here with Grandma, sweetie. Bye. What? Door slams, tires screech, they're gone. Hello there. I'm Grandma. I wanna watch Wheel of Fortune? Sure. My insides are on fire. We're almost there. Stay with me, sweetie. Stay with me. What you knitting? Well, I'm making you a hat, my dear. Awesome. Somebody help, my son is dying. I have lasagna and cookies for us. It smells amazing. Count backwards from 10, please. 10. 9. Good. Scalpel. Oh dear, I'm tired too. Look at that, it's 8:30 p.m. Past our bedtime. Why don't you head upstairs, go to sleep? I'll head to my room. See you in the morning, dear. Sweet dreams, Grandma. And that's how a kid had the best night of his life with his friend's grandma while his friend was in the hospital having surgery because his appendix burst. Who could have saw that coming? This kid and his mom and dad were kayaking one day and they get home late. They park at the lake house and they leave the kayak strapped to the top of the car. Nobody thought twice about it. Well, this kid is waking up at 3 in the morning. His dad's creeping into his room. Dad, what's going on? His dad, peeking out the window, says, "Shh, don't move." The mom then appears, dead serious. Come on. They head downstairs, and the dad gets on the phone with 911.
911, what's your emergency?
And then the front door slams open so hard, the entire house hears it, and the mom's voice blasts. Drop that kayak right now! The kid's peeking through the blinds, and there she is, barefoot, standing in the driveway, holding a large butcher knife, screaming at 3 grown men who are literally trying to steal the kayak from the top of the car. They also have knives. The dad sees this happening, and he freaks out. But, hold up, 1 second. Sandy, what are you doing? The mom's out there just slashing this knife around. The 3 thieves freak out, and they run away into the woods. The police finally arrive. So what happened here? There's a knife. I scared them away. They were trying to steal the kayak. Now talk to my husband. I'm going to bed. And that was that. What a frickin' legend. This school had a villain. A mayonnaise villain. Every few days, students would be walking up the main staircase when you would hear, "Ugh, gross." Somebody would scream, hold up their hand, and it would be covered in mayonnaise. The mayonnaise wouldn't be on top of the railing, it would be underneath. It started in the cafeteria stairwell. Then it spread. Math hallway, science wing, became a problem. You'd think that they would install cameras or that they would have cameras in the stairwells, but they didn't. So now everyone's terrified of touching railings because obviously some kid has been taking mayonnaise and smearing it under the railings in every single staircase in the school. And it wasn't like a little bit of mayonnaise, it was a lot. Kids are just walking up the stairs now with their hands to their sides because no one's gonna touch that stuff. And nobody knows who's doing this. The janitors are mad, the teachers are furious. The principal makes an announcement. Please, whoever's putting mayonnaise under the railings, stop it! It never stops. There was breaks for a few months, but it never stopped. Until one day, it did, 2 years later. And people assume it's because the mayonnaise bandit graduated. But even still, after that, the legend lives on forever. That's disgusting. Every school has a mystery. This one had a poopatrator. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's what they call them. Someone was sneaking into the bathrooms and smearing, not tagging, not vandalizing, straight up finger painting on the stalls with poop. There's been another Code Brown. I repeat, there's been another Code Brown. That's literally what they call this. It was a real phrase, a real alert. The janitor would sigh, grab his gloves, and head in. One day, a kid opens the stall and he freezes. It's art. A whole drawing smeared on the stall door. A sun drawn in the corner. A flower in the middle. A barn with a horse outside of it on the left side. All smeared in human feces. Look, dude, why is it actually good? Like, it was actually impressive. Nobody knew who was doing this, but after weeks of chaos, they caught him, brown-handed. They caught him in the act, mid-sketch. Turns out he did this every time he went number 2. He got expelled after that. And for 2 years after that, to try to avoid copycats, they had people monitoring the bathrooms at all times. All because of one poop Picasso. That's crazy.
Hey, কি করবি? চেনা চেহারা না হলো কি চেহারা কথা তো বেশি চেহারা ওজন বেশি
আপনি না শুই না দেখা সব জানা ফেলছেন বাবা। রক্ত লাগবে রে। রক্ত?
আসবো না মানে?
হ্যাঁ তাই তো শুনলাম।
আসবো না। ঠিক আছে দেখতেছি ব্যাপারটা যাও।
কি রে তুই কোচিং এ যাস না কেন?
দোস্ত আমি কোচিং এ কিভাবে যাব বল? এই গুন্ডাটা যে আমাকে ডিস্টার্ব করে তুই দেখতেই তো পারছস, ডেইলি আমার পিছনে লাগে থাকে।
আমার ভালোবাসার গল্পটা অপূর্ণ রয়ে গেল। গলবে পাখির মন গলবে এমন মন্ত্র দেব।
এভাবে রাস্তাঘাটে একটা মেয়েকে উত্তক্ত করে আর নিজের গায়ে রক্ত দিয়ে
এই এই দুলাভাই সামনে থাকলে যে সালাম দিতে হয় আপনি শিখাই নাই তোরা?
যে কোচিং এর সামনে যে গুন্ডাটা দাঁড়িয়ে থাকে আমার তো মনে হয় পড়াশোনা সব বন্ধ করে দিবে।
আমি তোর প্রেমের গল্প সাকসেসফুল না। আমার কথা বিশ্বাস কর।
আমি শুধু একটু প্রেম ভালোবাসা চাই, আমি শুধু ওরেই চাই বাবা, আমি শুধু ওরে পাইলে হবে।
ওকে, আমি আপনাকে ভালোবাসি। আচ্ছা, আপনার কাছে একটা প্রশ্ন।
আমার তো অনেক ভয় লাগতেছে দোস্ত। এই যে আস্তে আস্তে সব মানুষ জানবে, তারপর আমার ফ্যামিলিকেও জানাই দিবে, আর আমার
এন্ড বেস্ট অফ লাক ফর ডক্টরশিপ। আমি দোয়া করি তুমি যেন একজন ভালো ডক্টর হও।
কি রে মাম্মা, কই রে তুই? কতক্ষণ ধরে দাঁড়ায় থাকবো? কনসার্ট তো শুরু হয়ে যাবে। তাইলে তো বন্ধু রীত লেগে গেল। আরে বেটা, এত লাফাইস না, যেরকম শুনতেছি পরীর মতো এরকম করলে তো বেটা যা।
পারলে তো ভালো,
দেখা যাক কি করে শালা।
বোবা। হ্যাঁ, কথা বলতে পারো না?
বিয়ান সাহেব, আসসালামু আলাইকুম বিয়ান সাহেব।
এক্সকিউজ মি,
বলে দিবেন যে আমার বন্ধুর সাথে যেন ভালোভাবে প্রেম করে, নাইলে কিন্তু ঝামেলা আছে। যেদিকে তাকাই তোমায় দেখতে পাই, কিচ্ছু ভালো লাগে না।
বন্ধু, তুই যদি রক্ত দেস?
ভালো লাগে না রে দোস্ত।
না দুলা ভাই, আমি তো কোচিং এ যাই নাই, আমার তো বাসায় গেস্ট আসছে, আর আমার আম্মু তো একা, এজন্য আমি যাই না।
আমার পড়াশোনা সবকিছু বন্ধ করে দিবে, তখন আমি কি করব?
আরে ছাইরা দে।
সবে ইন্টার সেকেন্ড ইয়ারে পড়ি।
সেকেন্ড ইয়ারে এখন ক্লাস 9 এর পোলাবেনও প্রেম করে।
মামা, মায়া তো অস্থির। এক্সকিউজ মি আপু, এক্সকিউজ মি, আপনার নামটা যদি বলতেন একটু।
শুনেন বেঞ্চ সাহেব, আমার বন্ধু দিশান, ঠিক আছে? আপনার বান্ধবীরে শুনুন। মারি নাই তো, শাসন করছি। ভালো লাগে না, একটু মারতেই পারি, কিন্তু খুব খারাপ হয়ে গেছে। তুই রবিল নামে সুন্দর রিক্সা ডাক।
ভাবি, তুমি কি আমার বন্ধু দিশান দেখতে? প্লিজ ভাবি, আপনি একটু নেন প্লিজ ভাবি। দেখেন ভাবি,
বন্ধু ধরে না।
আবার কল দেখ।
এই এই দুলাভাই সামনে থাকলে যে সালাম দিতে হয়, আপনি শিখাই নাই তোরা?
যে কোচিং এর সামনে যে গুন্ডাটা দাঁড়িয়ে থাকে, আমার তো মনে হয় পড়াশোনা সব বন্ধ করে দিবে।
আমি তোর প্রেমের গল্প সাকসেসফুল না। আমার কথা বিশ্বাস কর।
আমি শুধু একটু প্রেম ভালোবাসা চাই, আমি শুধু ওরেই চাই বাবা, আমি শুধু ওরে পাইলে হবে।
ওকে, আমি আপনাকে ভালোবাসি। আচ্ছা, আপনার কাছে একটা প্রশ্ন।